Okay, we'd like to call this meeting to order, and the board appreciates your attendance here this evening. We're very well attended, especially for the forecast being as bad as it is, so we appreciate you coming. First on the agenda, also before we start, if you haven't, please on the way out sign the sign-up sheet so that we have an idea who's here to attend our meetings. And first item on the agenda, we're going to go a little out of order here because the insurance representative has another meeting after this. But I'd like to introduce Jill Brock from CSC Insurance to give a presentation about our new dental insurance program.
First of all, I'd like to thank the board for allowing me to be here tonight to introduce the new dental plan for you. My name is Jill Brock from CSC Insurance. I've met many of you through health insurance enrollment meetings and things that we did a few years ago and over the last few years. So I appreciate being here tonight. We have a new product we are introducing to you, the drivers and trainers and grooms, that will be a dental insurance plan. And I have information on that here tonight, and you may have seen posters and information, emails you've gotten up advertising it. We are having two meetings. I'll just start by saying that and then I can talk about the plan. One is tomorrow at the MSOA office from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then one is next week, which is Thursday the 17th from 1 to 3, again at the MSOA office. That will be taking enrollments. You can ask questions. There will be a representative from MetLife there to answer any questions you have, to help you complete enrollment forms. Like I said, answer any questions you might have about the plan, get more in-depth information, etc. So I'm here tonight just real quickly to highlight what's going to be offered. And I'll take a couple questions if necessary, and I'll leave you with some paperwork you can take a look at. And I'd love to see as many of you as can, and if you want to spread the word to others that will be at the offices over these next couple of days to do enrollments, that'd be great.
Also, let me interject that even after those, before those days, after those days, we will be taking enrollment all the way through the end of this month with a starting date of April 1st. So it's just like the health insurance. If you want on without a waiting period, you need to get signed up before April 1st. But you can come to our office any day that we're open.
Okay. As Kim mentioned, the dental plan will begin effective April 1st. So it's just a few weeks away. It's an excellent product. It's offered through MetLife. It's one of their higher end products. Real quick, as far as a highlight to benefits, it is a 180-50-50 plan. And what that means is it's 100% coverage for your preventive services. It's 80% coverage for your basic services, which are like fillings and those kind of things. And it's 50% coverage for major services, which are crowns and bridges and things like that. There's a $25 deductible. MetLife pays the balance of whatever the percentage is for the service you use. There's a $1,000 calendar year max per person in your family that would enroll in the plan. And there is orthodontic coverage as well for children under the age of 19. So it's a very, very good plan. A lot of you may have been looking or thinking about needing dental insurance, and a lot of you have mentioned that as an interest to members of the board, and that's why we're now offering this to you. We did quoting with a number of different carriers. MetLife came back with the best plan and the best rates. It's a voluntary product, so if you choose to enroll or not to enroll, the premium is paid for by you, the member, but it's offered through the MSOA, so it's a payment to the MSOA association, and then they pay the bill to the insurance company. And I have rating here that is approximate. We need 35% participation from the whole population in order to maintain the rates that they quoted us. I think it's an excellent plan. Many of you have probably been going around without dental insurance for many years because it's not a real common thing to buy out on your own. So the ability to buy it through a group, number one, saves you money and gets you a better product without a lot of the waiting periods that if you go looking for individual dental insurance you'll find. So it's an excellent product. I'd be glad to hand out papers to anyone who's interested. I can leave some on each of the tables. You can look at the plan and how the benefits work. And again, like I said, we'll be at the offices over these next couple of days to answer questions and help you through. Any questions I can take before I hand anything out?
I guess the one that I've heard the most, Jill, is it to a certain list of dentists, and when will we have that list?
Absolutely. There is a certain list of dentists. I did send it over to Sandy, so she does have it available in the office, and we'll have that at the meetings tomorrow. If you use a participating MetLife dentist, you get their preferred or negotiated fees. So you're going to get the most bang for your buck if you go to a participating MetLife dentist. But they are still going to offer coverage under the plan if you went to a non-MetLife dentist. But what you risk running into is if you went to a non-participating MetLife dentist, you're still going to have coverage by MetLife, but that dentist, because they haven't negotiated a fee with MetLife, could balance bill you for an additional portion of the premium cost because they don't have that negotiated agreement with the insurance company. So you do get coverage from non-participating dentists, but you're going to get the most out of your money if you go to a par dentist with MetLife's network. So we will have that list available. You can also go online to metlife.com and search for a dentist there based on your zip code or your address where you live. You can search a 20-mile radius or a 50-mile radius or whoever you're looking for, and see if they're participating that way as well.
It is currently drivers, trainers, and grooms, and those that are eligible for the health insurance currently. So it would be the trainers that have 35 starts, drivers that have 50 starts and above, and it's for grooms that work for trainers that have 35 starts. The qualifications are the same as they are for health insurance, but so that everybody knows, you don't have to be on a health insurance plan to purchase the dental insurance. So it's that advantage too. Some people have their health insurance with their spouse or through some other way of having it, but this way you can join our health or a dental plan without having to be on the health insurance. But that's who's eligible. Jim is the same as what's eligible for the health insurance. Okay, we'll move along with our agenda. The next item on the agenda will be our legislative update with our newly rehired lobbyist. Rob Vessio has changed firms to a firm called Cohen and Grigsby, and we chose yesterday at yesterday's board meeting to retain Rob's services, and we're proud to have him on board again.
The legislative update of what's pretty much been happening since, I guess, the election. Since last we met, the political landscape in Pennsylvania has shifted dramatically. With Rendell now out of power, we have Allegheny County's own Tom Corbett is now the governor. Between him and three of four legislative caucuses are now run by House and Senate members from Allegheny County. Mike Turzite, he's from Bradford Woods, is the new majority leader of the state house. We have Frank Derby, who is the Democratic leader in the House, and then he's from Oakmont. And then Jay Costa in the state Senate, he's from Forest Hills. So as you can see, what has happened is not only did Tom Corbett become governor, he was from Western Pennsylvania, but all three out of the four legislative caucuses now pretty much control the state. I mean, Western Pennsylvania, which is a big win, not only just for Western PA, but also for the MSOA, because there's members who are in these districts, but also we know these guys. These guys also understand the issues, they understand the meadows, they've been here. We're going to bring them back this summer to meet with you guys and so forth, so they can see what this is all about. As you may have known, the budget address was on Tuesday. Governor Tom Corbett presented his 2011-2012 budget. To meet the state's $4 billion deficit, the Governor Corbett proposed shifting revenue from funds and also cutting spending. He's not raising taxes. Right now, we were not one of the funds. The Resource Development Fund was kept the way it was last year. As you recall, when I spoke, they cut us for 4 years at 17%. That stays in play, but we were worried that there could have been additional cuts because of the $4 billion deficit. Governor Corbett's budget does not reflect that. It just stays the same, which is a big win. It's a good start for this year's cycle. We are in the second of the 4 years, though, the 17% hit. So after hopefully 3 years from now, it'll all sunset and go back to where it was. that is also our goal. Quickly, other items from the budget that may impact you. The horse racing regulation, corporate recommended state racing commission administrative costs be cut by $441,000. Toxicology and research labs be cut by $55,000. The PA fairs is just a slight admin cost of $3,000. And these are just like, he just went in and just probably did like a 10% for a lot of these departments. Participant license for the commission, there's no change. Investigations to ensure compliance, he actually put an additional $200,000 recommendation. Licenses, regulations, no change. Samples processed at the toxicology lab, no change. With the Republicans controlling the House, the Senate, and the governor's mansion, we predict that this budget will be done on time, and they're even talking about an early, maybe late May budget, maybe even late May, early June, which is under Rendell. We had 8 years of a budget running late, and it created havoc not only for this industry, but all industries in Pennsylvania. The Equine Coalition is not just us. We actually team up with the other tracks and the other horsemen across the state. We actually had a call this morning. We're starting to gear up our lobbying effort because we can't just rest on Corbett's recommendation. This is just his recommendation for the first budget. The legislative leaders will start looking for other items because what happened in the budget was there was a 50% cut reduction in state system of higher education. So Pitt, the Penn States, the Lincolns, they're taking a 50% whack, which the legislature will not let that happen. They're going to try to buy back some of those cuts, but to buy back those cuts, they got to go somewhere to get the money. So that's what we as a coalition will be working toward, making sure we're not one of the areas they're looking to go after. This board has been, one of the things they did last year, September of last year, is we kind of saw this budget deficit of $4 billion occurring. Because this wasn't something that was new. It's the economy, it's national, it's international economy right now. It's a problem. So we knew there was going to be $4 billion deficit. So one of the things we did was the MSOA board took it upon themselves to talk to the other members of the coalition and say, we got a problem. When I'm up there lobbying on behalf of this organization, there are legislators who understand this industry, but then there's others who don't see a difference between the breeder section within the organization and your section. I don't want to say, we try to work all together, but we know there's issues out there amongst some of the interest groups. Not only that, we've tried to unify around a common theme of the Racehorse Development Fund and how it has grown, not only to help the industry, but also to give back to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has benefited from the Racehorse Development Fund. It hasn't just been this industry. So the board decided we need to have an economic impact fund. And it was wise that they did it when they did because we've just completed it today. It's going to probably be in final document form within the next week or so. This document is going to, what we're going to use to quantify, to show legislators what your economic impact is to the Commonwealth. And it's been great. I mean, it's shown for every dollar the Racehorse Development Fund has invested into this industry, you've returned too. So you're making money for the Commonwealth in essence. And we have all the quantitative data to back this up. This isn't just something that we're made up. There's quantified data. We've got all the spin-off, all the tax revenue, everything into this. So what we're trying to show legislators is this is an industry. It's not just about horse racing. It's not just about breeding. It's really an industry in Pennsylvania, and it has been a significant impact. I think the number was $800 million across the Commonwealth, or $600 million across the Commonwealth. Actually, it was $800 million for the first year. That was all the new construction that you guys put back into the place, to get things up and running. And after that, we're looking at another $490 million per year of steady revenue that you're bringing back to the Commonwealth. So as you can see, you have a significant impact in Pennsylvania. And it is our job to ensure the legislators know that every dollar they cut, they're actually cutting $2 from the economy. So that's what we're up to. We have a busy schedule right now. Budget hearings right now are just starting up, so the legislative leaders, they are meeting in Harrisburg for the next 3 weeks. They're grilling the Department of Agriculture and all the departments to see where they can find money. And again, we'll be doing a lot of meetings and a lot of events out here. So, any questions for anybody?
The only addition that I wanted to make to Jeff or to Rob's presentation is the group that the coalition and the board decided to use was Innovation Group, and they have, in the last, just since I've been here, they are the group that the legislators, I should say, listen to the most. They're the ones that created the studies for Act 71, for Act 70, or the last bill, Senate Bill 711, to get passed, which brought the table games in. When we decided to do this as a group, instead of using the Trip Umbach or firms like that, we decided to go top shelf and to use a group that will be well listened to and well accepted by the legislators. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the third-party liability and fire and disaster. I have put out in the back, and I apologize if there aren't enough, because we certainly didn't think there'd be this great attendance that there has tonight, but I have them in the office. What they do is explain what comes with your US or your MSOA membership, and that is the fire and disaster insurance and the third-party liability. These are free of charge. They are a great program, and I had a claim today at Arden Downs. The horse got loose and ran into somebody's truck, and I'm sure there's several of you here that are sitting in the audience have benefited from this in the past. And rather than go through it item by item, I'll just leave it for people to go through. The main thing that I want people to understand is, yes, okay. The main thing to understand is that as an insured, it doesn't matter where you train for your liability insurance. If you train on a farm, if you train at Arden Downs, or you train at Stoneboro, wherever you may train, if you're a member of this association, you are covered by the third-party liability. And also, the fire and disaster is covered if you're in transit. Now, the fire and disaster only covers the racetrack and participating training centers, of which Arden is not currently. And there are farms that should join this policy and use the benefits of this. But if you're in transportation from anywhere to anywhere, as long as it's you're a MSOA member, you have fire and disaster. If you had a truck wreck and your horse was injured, not your truck, not your trailer, but specifically your horse, these are coverages that you have through the MSOA. So again, I won't get too descriptive on this, but it is a great benefit to our membership.